everyone, it's Danny. So a few days ago I uploaded a video in which I told you what dehydration can do, and one of the effects was curly flower spikes. Now I just noticed a very peculiar thing on my Nelly Isler Orchid. This is the second Nelly Isler. The first one that I ever had is this one, and she is doing okay, putting out new growth that grows okay. Few wrinkly leaves here and there, but it's nothing dramatic, and the new growths are okay. But this Nelly Isler has a totally different history. Now I purchased it at a discount, already super dehydrated, and I did the very awful mistake of not washing the roots properly and actually got infested with snails. So now this poor little orchid barely has a root system. I didn't look into the pot, but as far as I see, this is what happens. So right now it is desperately trying to produce flower spikes. I have one here and one here and another one I just discovered today right here from the old pseudo. Now what this means is the orchid is so sick that it's desperately trying to reproduce somehow. This sometimes happens with orchids. It doesn't always happen, depending on what the orchid decides actually. So I thought I could make a case out of this very sick Nelly Isler Orchid on how to properly save this flower spike, how to get it out of the leaves. So let's try to do just that. Okay, this will be slightly weird to film. So we have our flower spike really curled up here. Hopefully you can see it. Now, what I'm thinking is that I need a sort of a hook to get it out of there, because if I use my fingers, I might actually damage it. The flower spike is just so tender at this point and so weak that I might actually break it if I use my fingers. So I found this wire in the house. I'm not sure exactly what it is. It's just a piece of wire. It can be made into various shapes, so I will try to produce a sort of a hook. Alrighty, now this is thin enough that I can get really over the flower spike, and hopefully it's strong enough to pull out my flower spike. So here we go. Let's see what happens. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. I can't really see on the camera. So I will try to position my little hook without damaging any other growth. I'm not sure if you can see this, hopefully, right around the flower spike. And now I will pull it out. There we go. Now this flower spike has the tip out of the leaves. Inside, if I look, looks slightly undulated, but the important thing is that this tip is outside. Now it will probably either go down, because this is the direction of growth of the poor flower spike. It will either go down or to the side, but when it grows slightly before it hits this growth, I will try to use the same wire and a sort of a stick that I can place somewhere to hold it, just like that, close to the stick and away from the plant and outside. I'm not sure how much it will go up. I will try to shape it up, but right now I've just given this flower spike a new chance of survival. Because of this plant is really dehydrated, sometimes it's better to just chop off the flower spikes and leave the orchid some energy to put into root production and leaves. And there is a massive discussion on the internet about if orchids do indeed save energy or not, or they just do what they're scheduled to do no matter what. If orchids can grow roots and leaves and flower spikes healthy at the same time. There's a whole debate on the subject. So far, my personal opinion is that the orchid does put energy in different directions. It doesn't go everywhere, and I have a few subjects that do just that. A few subjects that have stopped putting energy in the leaves. The leaves have not grown, even if it's a new leaf, because the flower spike is growing. So I do tend to believe the orchid is indeed smart, if you want to call it like that. Millions of years of evolution made this plant smart and smarter than you might think. And on my Facebook page, actually, I will post some really nice documentaries of David Attenborough's, of course. And yeah, you will see that maybe there's a possibility plants have a degree of smartness as well. So I tend to believe this orchid really thinks about what it wants to do, if it wants to put energy in the flower spike or in the leaf or no matter. But anyway, I've kind of strayed away from the subject. Now, if you have a very dehydrated plant and you wish to save it, I would suggest cutting the flower spike and leave the orchid some energy for new roots and new shoots and new leaves and stuff like that. As bad as it sounds, I do prefer a healthy orchid rather than a flower spike. I can wait, I have the patience. But since I do have 2 Nelly Isler orchids, and since I do want to experiment, as much as I do want to save this plant, I will just leave the flower spikes be. See how they develop, see how the plant fares, if it will die struggling to produce flowers or not, and so on. So this will be a little experiment. Now, another strange thing is that this orchid decided to produce another flower spike out of the old pseudobulb. Now this pseudobulb is really 1 year old and it should not produce a flower spike the next season. So it's really interesting to see how this orchid will evolve. It's I'm really interested in seeing what is up with her. So yeah, I will just leave it. Maybe if I think that I'm stressing her way too much, I will just abort the experiment and see what happens, but I'll keep you updated. Anyway, I hope you guys learn from what I do, so that if I do any mistakes and stuff, you can learn from my mistakes and not do them yourself. I'm not sure if I'm doing a mistake right now by not cutting the flower spikes or not. I will just let it be and see what happens and share with you the results of my experiment. As always, I blabbed quite a lot, so I will end this video here. Thank you for joining, thank you for watching, and yeah, I'll keep you updated on this little experiment I have with a very sick Nelly Isler orchid. If you want to see more orchid videos regarding totally different subjects or anything you like, please subscribe to my channel. Leave me your suggestions if you want to see something in particular, or you have any other experiments in mind, because I have 100 orchids. I can do some experiments. And let's see what happens. So leave me a comment if you want to. Okay, I'll see you next time. Take care and bye!